Want to create a sphere in SketchUp? While there's no native sphere tool in SketchUp, you can actually download a free plugin for SketchUp that's made by the SketchUp team to create spheres if you have SketchUp Pro or SketchUp Make. But don't worry, if you don't have SketchUp Pro or SketchUp Make, you can always use native commands in any version of SketchUp to create a sphere very easily, just like this. So using the Follow Me tool, you can create a sphere just like this. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, how to make it to a precise size, and how to control the smoothness of the sphere coming up. Hey, I'm Matt from MasterSketchup.com, author of SketchUp to Layout and co-author of SketchUp and Layout for Architecture. So how do you create a sphere in SketchUp? So this method is going to work in any version of SketchUp, whether you're on SketchUp for Web, SketchUp Make, SketchUp Pro, Mac, or PC. It doesn't matter. This method is going to work for you. And I recommend having the large tool set active because we're going to be using the circle tool right here and the Follow Me tool right here. So if you don't have the large tool set active, you can right click anywhere in your toolbar area and just make sure the large tool set is checked off there, and you should see this menu appear on the side of your screen. So let me show you exactly how this method works, and then we're going to dive in step by step on how you can create these circles and use the Follow Me tool to create the sphere. So as you can see, we're pretty much just creating two circles that are perfectly centered with one another, and they are arranged perpendicular to one another. And the reason we do this is because when you're using the Follow Me tool, you need to have a path and a face, or sometimes we call that a profile. And so in this case, this circle right here is serving as the path, and this surface right here, this face right here, is serving as the face that is getting extruded around that path. So if you can visualize this face right here following this path all the way around, you get this effect right here. So this first circle here is just temporary. We're going to delete that when we're all done, and you're left with the sphere. So let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to grab the circle tool, which is this one right here. So you're going to click on that, and the first circle we want to create is this one right here. And so this one is going to be aligned to the blue axis. So in order to ensure that we're drawing on or perpendicular to the blue axis, we're going to use the arrow keys to lock that orientation. So before you click to start the circle, what you're going to do is you're going to tap the up arrow, and you'll notice that the outline around the cursor becomes a stronger blue, and that makes it so no matter how you have your camera oriented, you're going to be locked to that blue axis. So then what you're going to do is just click once to start the circle. So that's going to define the center of the circle, and then you're just going to move your mouse outwards to the size that you want the circle to be. Now we want this circle to be slightly larger than the sphere itself because it's going to be just a temporary circle. We don't want it to merge with the sphere that we're generating. So for example, if I wanted to create a 3-foot radius sphere, I would make this a 4-foot radius circle for the path. So without clicking, I'm just going to type in 4 feet, enter, and that's going to define the first circle. And you can see here it's perpendicular to the blue axis. And then to create the second circle, and actually, by the way, one thing to make sure when you're doing this, don't try to create a really small circle or sphere because SketchUp has trouble with really small geometry. So make sure you're trying to draw something that's at least something bigger than 1 inch. Now you can always scale objects back down once they've been created, but just make sure that when you're starting to create the sphere that you're using something, that's at least 1 inch. Otherwise, you might use the Follow Me tool and realize that your geometry just disappears. So just make sure you keep that in mind. So to draw the second circle, we need to make sure we're perfectly aligned to the center. Now you can hover the mouse over the center of the circle, but sometimes it's hard to find that inference. So SketchUp's inference system will snap to different points in your model. So if you're having trouble with that, just hover over any of the endpoints of the circle. So you don't want to snap to this midpoint because that's not going to work. You want to snap right to one of these corners. You can see how this circle is segmented, which we're going to talk about a little bit more later on. So you want to snap to one of those endpoints until you see that blue circle right in the center there. And once you see that, you can move your mouse right over there until it snaps. Now, we haven't clicked yet. We haven't started drawing the circle. So in this case, we want this circle to be aligned to either the green or red axis. So we can tap either the left arrow key to snap to the green axis, or we can tap the right arrow key to snap to the red axis. So in this case, I'm just going to use the left arrow key for the green axis, and then I'll click once to start. I'll bring my mouse out, and I'm going to make this one 3 foot radius. So I'll type in 3 feet, enter, and that creates the second circle. So if we take a look at this here, we can see that we're perfectly aligned, we're perfectly centered, and now all we have to do is grab the select tool, which you can get quickly with the spacebar, or you can just click the button right there. And when you're using the follow me tool, it's usually best to try to pre-select the path before activating the follow me tool. So in this case, we could click the edge and that'll select the whole path, or sometimes it's a little faster to just select the face itself, and that will actually do the same thing. So it's just a shortcut. You can click either the face or the path directly. So once that is selected, then we can activate the follow me tool. And now SketchUp is looking for that face that you want to extrude along that path. So you're going to just hover over the second circle and click, and that creates your sphere. Now, obviously, at this point, unless we were trying to like model Saturn or some planet with some rings around it, we would want to delete the first circle because this was just a temporary path. So we can just double click on that to select the whole thing. You'll notice that it actually doesn't merge with the geometry just because we gave it that space there, and then we can just tap delete. And now keep in mind, you don't actually have to have the path intersecting the geometry when you use the follow me tool. So let's take a look at what happens when the path is the same radius as the face. So I'm going to select this path, use the follow me tool. So it does create the sphere just fine, but we have this issue where the original path, the edges from the original path still exist, and they actually are kind of intersecting with the sphere itself. So if I try to delete that path, I'm actually deleting geometry from the sphere itself. And you'll also notice, like if I delete this surface here, you'll see that there's an internal face that's actually inside the sphere as well, which is not really what we're going for. So that's why I prefer having the path just a little bit larger than the face itself that we're going to be creating the sphere out of. But another thing you could actually do is create the path and the face that you're going to be extruding completely separate from one another. So in this case, what I did was, after creating the first circle, I just hovered over the center point and then just brought my mouse upwards, and you can see that SketchUp is snapping to the blue axis by referencing the center point of that circle, and that will let you create a circle that is perfectly aligned with basically those two circles are going to be aligned. And then what happens when you use the follow me tool is it creates the sphere just fine, and your path is not touching it whatsoever. Now, if this happens to you where you see the blue or gray face, that means that it was extruded inside out, and you can just right click on that and select reverse faces. And you can even think a little bit further outside of the box with this. So for instance, we have these two circles perfectly centered with one another, but let's say, I'm just gonna shrink this really quick. Let's say these weren't perfectly centered. Let's say this circle was off to the side like this. What do you think would happen if we use the follow me tool? Well, let's take a look here. So I selected that path, I grabbed the follow me tool, and then when I select that face, it creates this donut or torus shape. And the same thing with this over here. If I select this face, grab the follow me tool, you can create kind of this rounded dome. Or if you wanted to maybe have it hollow on the inside, you could select just this curve and use the offset tool to offset the edges, and then the eraser tool, letter E, to grab the eraser tool, delete those lines, and use the follow me tool like this, and now you have a hollow dome as well. Now, a few things to keep in mind. The size of the path circle that you create, it actually really doesn't matter what size it is. What does matter is the number of segments that you use to create it. So if we actually take a look at a sphere and turn on hidden geometry, so if we go to view and hidden geometry, you can see that the sphere is actually not really perfectly rounded, it's faceted, and the number of segments that you use with these two circles will determine how smooth that shape appears. So for instance, if I change this circle to 12 segments, and I'm just doing this up in the entity info panel, which you can access under window, default tray, entity info, and you can actually change the segments of a circle after it has been drawn. Or alternatively, if you are drawing a circle, so if you grab the circle tool, you can change that on the fly. So if you look down here, it tells you the number of segments or sides that it's about to draw, and you can actually type in a new number of sides. So I can type in 12, and now I'm drawing a 12-sided circle. So if the path has 12 segments and we go ahead and use the follow me tool, we now have a lower resolution sphere as we did previously. Now keep that in mind, because you don't want to have too high of a number, because then you're just going to have way too much geometry. But on the other hand, if you go too low, it's going to be much less of a sphere looking shape. Now both of these circles do affect the shape of the sphere, so you can change the segments of this circle as well to get different shapes as well. And of course, if you find all this just way too cumbersome, you can always download the free official SketchUp shapes plugin that you can find on the extension warehouse. I'll have a link to it in the description below. You have a number of different primitive shapes that you can create. So, cylinder, spheres, torus, all these different shapes that you can create. If you'd rather have that just accessible from a drop-down menu, that's there for you to download. But of course, you need SketchUp Pro or SketchUp Make to use that. So check out the links in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's really crazy. I actually was looking at my analytics, and like 80% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. It's like, why don't you subscribe? You're watching, you're liking it, right? So I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. It's just going to pop up my videos on your feed whenever you're browsing through YouTube. And if there's something that catches your attention, you can go ahead and watch it. If not, you can just keep on scrolling. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.